Friday, February the 3rd, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today afternoon update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Top in the news at this hour, Barbados has recorded its 7th road death for the year so far, compared with 10 for the whole of 2016. The latest victim is 59-year-old Vincent Allen of 3rd Avenue, Hearts Gap, Christchurch. Allen, who was involved in an accident with a car driven by 30-year-old Tyson Babb of Downs Gap, Arthur Seat, St. Thomas just after 8 p.m. yesterday along Hearts Gap Main Road, was rushed to hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Police say Allen had just disembarked from a bus and was attempting to cross the road. Meanwhile, police are at this hour probing the circumstances surrounding the unnatural death of 18-year-old Michael Edwards of Bartlett Tenantry, Sergeant's Village, Christchurch. Edwards, who was shot by two masked armed gunmen that entered his home yesterday afternoon, also succumbed to his injuries after being taken to hospital. He had been shot multiple times. A St. George man was expected to appear in court today, charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition. Police say the alleged offenses happened yesterday at East Lynn in the same parish. This year's sugar crop is expected to start on Monday, with officials projecting a sugar yield of about 12,000 tons, more than double last year's output. Chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industry Limited, Patrick Bethel, told Barbados Today on the sidelines of a workshop on the sugar sector that talks with the Barbados Workers' Union were all but reached a settlement.
And we've met with the union, we're meeting and currently have discussions with the Barbados Workers' Union, and I would like to extend my appreciation to the union for their mature approach to this whole exercise. We have one small outstanding matter which I think will be resolved today, and given that we've been assured from the union that we can start our crop on Monday, which is good news because we can be able to harvest the cane at a peak of perfection, and we will continue our discussions as mature people. You know, it's not a confrontational situation anymore. We are working as Barbadians for Barbados together, and we respect their inputs. We listen to them, they listen to us, and we come up with a solution.
Private sector officials are eager to see more investment being made in the local economy so that the average Barbadian can begin to benefit. Executive Director of the Chartered Accountants of Barbados, Reginald Farley, says officials across a range of industries are generally pleased with the 1.6% growth recorded last year. However, he says a lack of confidence is hindering more investments from taking place at this time.
The macroeconomic fundamentals are not what they should be, not what we're accustomed to in Barbados. So those of us who have been tracking this over the many years, we're falling below our 12 weeks of foreign exchange cover target. We run government fiscal deficits for the past 7 years or so. So those who want to see what is the action that will be taken to correct this. So part of the trigger for further investment is really to ensure that we're on to a good footing, that when we make projections in our business plans, that we will not only be sure that we'll get a return of our investment, but a return on our investment for ourselves and our shareholders.
Meanwhile, President of the Barbados Bankers Association, Donald Wellington, says the economic growth was not being felt currently because investment projects were not happening as quickly.
To see growth, there must be investment. And in order for there to be investment, that investment has to be both foreign and domestic. As the governor said, construction is one of those areas, but there are knock-on impacts on investment, be it constructing a new hotel project or just building or growing a manufacturing facility, things that put people to work. That is when you start to feel it, when people are put to work. And the more that we get the projects going, the more people will start to feel.
One university professor is not holding out much hope for improvement in U.S.-Caribbean relations under the Trump administration. Robin Kelly, professor of American history at UCLA, was delivering the third Kamau Brathwaite lecture last night at the UWI Cayfield campus. He spoke on the topic, Trumpism and the Crisis of Black America. In response to a question from the audience, Professor Kelly noted that it's only a matter of time before Washington's immigration and deportation policies are extended to the Caribbean immigrant policies.
Because the thing that we have to keep in mind, I should have mentioned this and it should be obvious to everyone, is that our immigration issue is not just Mexicans and Central Americans. It's an immigration issue that's very strong in the Caribbean, with Haiti, Dominican Republic, so we're going to see wars on immigrants that's going to extend to the black populations, the black immigrant populations, which people are trying to defend. So I don't see anything good coming out of it, but the question is, what is it, what can we do in solidarity to be able to build these relationships? When the Caribbean has been such a model of a pathway for certainly for African Americans about how we might look at a different future.
In sport, the Afghan Cricket Board, ACB, has roped in former West Indies coach Phil Simmons as consultant for the next 3 series against Zimbabwe, Ireland, and the West Indies. Now, according to the ACB, he will assist head coach Lalshan Rajput on technical issues. Afghan's tour of Zimbabwe starts on February the 16th in Harare and includes 5 ODIs before they host Ireland in Greater Noida, India in March.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper. Only $2.25. Let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados today on my phone and I just get my news for free. What do she?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago Cabinet has approved stricter anti-terrorism laws. The legislation intends to broaden the scope under which persons can be held criminally liable. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi delivered the news at a post-cabinet meeting yesterday.
The Anti-Terrorism Amendment Bill, which is to be laid in Parliament on Friday, will not only target the defensive shortcomings, but also seal several loopholes in the current law, which enables terrorist activities to persist, such as the definition of property, which will now include links such as oil and not only cash. A terrorist will now be defined as a person who contributes in any way to terrorist activities or financing.
We're looking to extend the scope of the Act to cover offences committed outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Now that's a very important position because, as you know, the allegation exists that persons may travel outside of this country, participate in events in other countries, and what we want to do is to specifically capture any form of activity that can be linked to that form.
Threatening or making preparations to commit a terrorist act, as well as individuals, including the ordinary citizen, or organizations providing services to terrorists, will all be held liable under the amended law.
And on the global front, French authorities have opened a terror investigation after a soldier shot a man wielding a machete near the Louvre Museum in Paris. Police spokesman Joanna Premiere said the man had rushed toward a group of soldiers and guards in the Carrousel du Louvre.
In the commercial area, the man threw himself at the soldier who was there, armed with at least 1 knife or bladed weapon, possibly 2, with the appearance of a terrorist. The soldier was injured. His colleague fired at least 5 rounds and 1 bullet hit the individual. He was seriously injured, very seriously injured in the stomach area. Those are the facts we have for now. An inquiry has been opened into the incident. Just to clarify, the individual had 2 backpacks. As regards the explosives, there is no immediate risk. The area has been made safe and the people who were trapped are now exiting the commercial area and the museum.
And that's news and the sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.